Hey, I can only speak French, but you must understand me and get me what I want.
Sorry, Karen, I don't understand you, and I don't work here.
I will call the employees and get you fired.
What are you even doing, Karen? Now, for every like this video gets, one Karen will be kicked out of Disneyland. So please, smash that thumbs up and notification buttons. To the story by /Diamond Aquila. I don't work here, lady. Disneyland edition. So me and my girlfriend took a trip to Disneyland Paris a few years ago as our first holiday together. We were having an awesome time in the parks, etc. But one day was incredibly busy, so we decided instead of just queuing hours for rides, we would do some souvenir shopping instead for a bit. We are in a store in Disneyland browsing various mugs, fridge magnets, plush toys, the general overpriced stuff. When a very sweet woman asked me if I could help her cross the store as I'm a tall guy 6'4", I said, yeah, that is fine. I get it at home in supermarkets all the time, so no biggie. Turns out her daughter wanted a specific Winnie the Pooh toy that was at the top of a huge pile of plushes. I gladly grabbed it down for her and gave it to the little girl who was over the moon. This is where things got strange. A fairly young French lady moved over to me chatting in French and gesturing at a shelf with some glasses on it. I speak a tiny bit of French, but definitely not enough to know what she wanted, so I politely told her, sorry, I speak English and I'm not an employee. I was wearing jeans and a wine-colored hoodie, which is not even remotely close to Disney cast members' uniforms. The French lady stormed off and I thought that was that. I went and found my girlfriend and we were looking at some gifts ideas for our families when from right behind me I heard a woman say, "This is him," in English but with a French accent. I turned around to see the aforementioned French lady who had dragged an actual employee over to me to give me a scolding. Her accent was very heavy, but she said something along the lines of, "He helps someone, but not me. Workers should be trained better." The actual Disney employee immediately could see I was a guest at the park, apologize and lead the woman away. All we could hear from the other side of the store was the French lady shouting and getting very irritated. I assumed she was removed from the store. Anyway, me and my girlfriend took a couple of Minnie and Mickey Mouse mugs to register to pay for. And the employee who started the situation was on the next register and she said, "Please wait there." She toddled off and came back a couple minutes later with a stuffed Luke Skywalker Mickey Mouse and a stuffed Princess Leia Minnie Mouse for my girlfriend. "These are for you, as a way of an apology." "Well, it's not necessary, was just a misunderstanding," I said, but she insisted, so we got some pretty cool souvenirs. Thanks, angry French lady. TLDR, on vacation in Disneyland, French lady mistakes me for an employee in the store and gets angry. Angry lady removed from the store, and we were given a free Mickey and Minnie Mouse to say sorry. You would think people would be chilled because you're in Disneyland for Pete's sake. To the second story. I'm not your waitress, I'm your son's girlfriend. This was something that happened a lot while ago when I first started dating my now fiancé. It came up in a conversation the other day as my fiancé's best man was threatening to put it in his speech, much to the embarrassment of my soon-to-be mother-in-law. My fiancé and I met at university, many miles away from his home city. We were in some of the same classes, and romance blossomed. We'd been a couple for a few months, and when he said that his parents were coming to see him and wanted to meet me as well, the plan was for us to all go out for dinner together the evening they arrived. However, my boyfriend had an unmissable meeting scheduled just before we were meant to be leaving. We decided that I'd go ahead and meet them and to be integrated, and my boyfriend would just try to hurry up the meeting and go straight from there. I caught the bus into town. However, it was just my luck that it broke down halfway through the journey, meaning that I was about 15 minutes behind schedule. I caught my boyfriend just before his meeting to tell him, and he passed on the message to his parents, who replied almost instantly saying that they were already in the restaurant, and gave the location of their table so I could just join them when I got there. This restaurant was fancy-ish, You definitely wear smart and casual clothing to dine there. And staff were in similar dress of white shirt and blouse, pressed trousers, and smart shoes. I was wearing the smartest dress I had that, which was a dark red, definitely not uniform. I get there 10-ish minutes late, and a little bit sweaty and out of breath, and spotted my boyfriend's parents. I'd seen pictures of them, so I knew what they looked like, sitting on a table. I put on a "don't let them know you're nervous" smile, and walked over there. This is the conversation that followed. Me: "Hi there, sorry I'm late, it's lovely to meet you."
Oh, someone's already taken our drinks order. We'll be ready to order food when the rest of our party get here.
Me: I'm not your waitress. My name, fiance's name, girlfriend. Sorry for being late. My poor future mother-in-law turned the color of my red dress. She apologized for a good 2 minutes while my future father-in-law had a bit of giggles. It was not the most conventional way of meeting the in-laws, but it definitely broke the ice. It wasn't brought up when my boyfriend arrived, but I mentioned it afterwards and made him laugh too. Although it didn't have any lasting effects, my mother-in-law definitely doesn't want this announced at our wedding. Well, at least now you know, your mother-in-law wasn't a jerk to the waiting staff. The third story. I'm not robbing this house. I'm not a gardener either. This is my own house. We moved into a new house a few years ago. 2 days after we settled in, it's a gorgeous day, so I'm out tending the garden. If you live in Louisiana, you realize that nice days are few and far in between. It's hot and muggy. About 30 minutes after I start, this woman walks beside the house. She compliments my garden and asks how much my service cost. I told her, "Ma'am, I don't do services." About this time, my husband walks out and puts something into the car. So all is perfectly fine, right? No. This woman decides to call the cop and tell them we were robbing the place. I don't know if her watching my husband caused that thinking, as he was pulling stuff out of the house and into the vehicle or what. We were new neighbors, moved in like a few days prior, so you'd think she would have seen us moving. 3 cops shows up a few minutes later after she left. We didn't know she called the cops. They pull up while both of us were wondering what the hell happened. Maybe someone we knew died or our kid got arrested. Neither. They said we were called in as an active burglar. We had to prove it was ours. She didn't even talk to us about or mention robbery. Although I guess in the moment she just lost it. People are crazy here. Oh yeah, that's right. We broke into this house and started doing some gardening. The fourth story by /Pepperbell. I'm not a client here, lady. This happened over 10 years ago, but reading all these stories made me remember this horrific experience. It's not exactly retail, but I think it's worth telling. As a high schooler, my school made you do a work-study day, super mandatory, and I thought I could do work quote-unquote study at the job I already had, vet's office, but found out the day before that wasn't allowed. Luckily, my dad was able to get me into a shadowing position at some branch of his company. I show up, and I'm put into care of Veronica, the program director. I'm supposed to shadow her working for the adult community outreach program. Homeless services, healthcare services, mental health services, the works. Veronica is immediately very irritated. She has to babysit me. Tells me to go clean the bathroom and shower. No! And they are used by the shelter residents, so double no! Leaves me with a questionably safe male client in the lobby. Most wanted to talk about the odor of the black sun, thankfully. Insults my intelligence, make me sit on a caseworker's counseling session with a client, where I get to hear the riveting story of how he jumped a fence and broke his man part, and I was basically treated like garbage the entire time. I couldn't figure out why until I asked her to sign my form saying that I put up with all this crap. Veronica.
Oh, sure. Take it back to school. It's not like you're going to pass anyways. I don't know why they even let you kids in the youth program name Shadow here. Y'all just ends up as adult clients in the end.
And then I realized, oh crap, she thinks I'm shadowing here as a client of the youth version of this program. As I stand there, dumbfounded, holding my form and pencil out, she glances out of the office window as a car pulls up.
Veronica, oh great, why is he here?
Me.
Who?
V.
Sean, the hard butt moron of a CEO. He's always on my butt about something or another.
Oh, and by the way, Sean is my dad. I let her drone on and keep insulting my dad alongside all their youth clients who I'm feeling really ducking sorry for. And I wait until my dad walks past reception and is walking towards her office. Me.
Daddy!
I run up and gave him a hug. Dad, hi, kiddo. I turn around to face Veronica with the biggest crap-eating grin on my face and watch her go ghost white. Dad, did you have fun today?
Me,
My dad thanks Veronica for letting me shadow her, and we go into the car. I immediately go full tattletale mode like a ducking 4 years old because holy crap, this woman! The kids from the program are shadowing you because they want to choose a career path to help others like themselves. And you treat them like what? Like what the duck? Veronica works at a hotel now. Oh, what a satisfying story of justice served. The fifth story. I finally did it. Yesterday at about 2:30, I was shopping at my local smiley face box store. As I usually do, I stop and check their app to figure out what aisle stuff is on, since they did a reset a few months ago, and I haven't yet become accustomed to the layout. While standing in the aisle searching the app, I hear a very loud throat-clearing sound. It was at this point I knew I had my opportunity to try a new tactic. We'll see how verbally obscene I have been in the past. This time, I was going to play nice. This lady didn't look like the stereotype Karen. She had red highlights and curly hair. Let's call her Kay. And to be open, I'm wearing a green shirt with a Minecraft creeper on it.
Karen, excuse me, hey.
No, and there were no pauses. Her hand was on her hip, and her head was tilted in that I'm about to go off on you, the way that Karens get before threatening a manager. Me. Oh, yes? Karen.
I've been waiting over here for 10 minutes.
I cut her off mid-sentence. I felt a bit cheeky. Me. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry you had to wait. Why didn't you get my attention sooner? Since you're here now, can you check the bag for this Homedic food spa? The app said you have one in stock, but the slot is empty.
Karen, you're supposed to be helping me.
Me, I am? Well, guess I can go back with you to check. I'm not exactly sure how that would work, but I'm game.
Karen, excuse me? You're the one who works here.
Me, pretty sure I don't. However, judging by your blue shirt, you're the employee I requested 15 minutes ago. Do you have any idea what it's like to wait that long for an employee? Then have them lie and say they don't work here.
Karen, I don't work here, you dumb butt. What are you even talking about?
Me. Well then, why would you come up to a customer who is obviously waiting on somebody and then tell them you had been waiting for their attention for 10 minutes?
Karen, I didn't.
Me. Well, yes, you did. Now, don't lie to me twice. Do we need to get your manager up here? At this point, she lets out the loudest type of sound and walks out mouthing something under her breath. I continued my shopping and ultimately checked out. Probably the most fun I've ever had diffusing a situation without the use of profanity and without an actual employee getting involved. Oh, this guy just pulled an Uno reverse card. Well done. The final story. Lady assumed I was stealing. A woman thought I was stealing an employee golf cart at my job. I tried to explain to her I was an employee, but she wouldn't listen. I work golf maintenance at a very fancy golf course during the summers while in college, and I did it in high school too. I was working the driving range one day and getting stuff ready, and this lady is hitting golf balls and decides to come over to me, red in the face, and say,
"Excuse me, young man, you aren't allowed to use that card. Didn't your grandparents tell you?"
I say to her, "Ma'am, I work here, and I'm most definitely allowed to use the card." And she then looks at me like she's sucking a lemon and says,
Oh, don't lie to me. I know you're staying with your grandparents for the 4th of July, and you stole a card from one of those darn Mexicans who actually work here trying to be cute.
I was floored, and I had no idea what to say because I couldn't believe she felt the need to not only be racist towards my coworkers and friends, but also condescending towards me. And I just go, "Alright, ma'am, I need to get back to work." She grabs my arm and says,
"No, you're coming with me. I know the general manager and he will throw you out personally."
I grin and say, "Alright, fine, then I'll come with you."
We take our card back to the clubhouse and go into the general manager's office. She goes through the whole rant, saying how I stole a card and pretended to be an employee and got very loud. And then after she finished, she says,
"What do you have to say for yourself?"
I turn to the GM and say, "Well, Dad, you see, the thing is..." And she interjects,
"Wait, this is your son? You let your son go and steal cards from the help?"
My father just says, "Ma'am, he works here. There's no problem." She got extremely embarrassed and just left. Oh, I love it. Some people are just horrid, and I love when this happens. I know the manager, like for real, Karen. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.